Oh, what's going on, everybody? We got another new word for the day. Word for the day is freedom. Freedom. When I think of freedom, that's something that none of us has ever known, at least in this life. But let's get to the definition. Freedom, a state of exemption from the power of control of another, liberty, exemption from slavery, servitude, or confinement. Freedom is personal, civil, political, and religious. See liberty. But before we go to that, let's hit this fair use copyright section 107 for educational purposes, research and commenting. But let's get right back into it. So we looked at the definition of freedom, and after that it says see liberty. So we at liberty. Liberty, freedom from restraint in a general sense and applicable to the body or to the will or mind. The body is at liberty when not confined. The will or mind is at liberty when not checked or controlled. A man enjoys liberty with no physical force, operates to restrain his actions or volitions. So, knowing that we're all children of God and we've been born with these God given rights, such as freedom and liberty, and then we apply those into the world that we live in today, it seems that we don't have those God given rights, freedom, and liberty, which has been taken from us. So we need to look at that and make changes accordingly because we don't have freedom or liberty. But as we continue on to the other definitions of liberty, it has two: natural liberty, and has another one: civil liberty, political, and religious liberty. So let's go down to natural liberty, which being natural of this earth, people of melanin skin, they're natural. Just like any plants that grows up out the ground is natural. God given, what's God given is natural. Natural liberty consists in the power of acting as one thinks fit, without any restraint or control except from the law of nature. It is a state of exemption from the control of others and from positive laws and the institutions of social life. This liberty is abridged by the establishment of government. So, next we have civil liberty. Civil liberty is the liberty of men in a state of a society or a natural liberty, so far only abridged and restrained as is necessary and expedient for the safety and interest of the society, state, or nation. A restraint, a restraint of natural liberty not necessary or expedient for the public is tyranny or oppression. Civil liberty is an exemption from the arbitrary will of others, which exemption is secured by established laws, which restrain every man from injuring or controlling another. Hence, the restraints of law are essential to civil liberty. So, with civil liberty, to my ass, when they came in and found us happy, what they want to call us Americans here, Indians, uh, and then put us in slavery, they deprived us of our liberties. You ever get that question why they always ask what political party you belong to, even though they send you the paperwork every year, the ballots when to vote, where to go vote, which party you affiliated with, but yet they ask the same questions. Which party you going to vote for? Are you a citizen? And it's just like, you already know these questions, but why you keep asking me? So let's get to the definition of political liberty. Political liberty is sometimes used as synonymous with civil liberty, but is more properly designates the liberty of a nation, the freedom of a nation or state from all unjust abridgment of its rights and independence by another nation. Hence, we often speak of political liberties of Europe or other nations of Europe. Whew. Then we have religious liberty. It's the free right of adopting and enjoying opinions on religious subjects and of worshiping the supreme being according to the dictates of conscience without external control. Hmm. So that brings us to a political party. Just what I was just saying. So we was all born here free on this land. They came with our God-given natural liberty, freedom that we had. They came and took it, gave us civil, took our natural liberty and gave us civil liberty and political liberty. And so, political party is an organization that coordinates candidates to compete in a particular country's election. It is common for the members of a party to hold similar ideas of politics, and parties may promote specific ideological or policy goals. And you can go ahead and read there, So you belong to a party, then y'all have the same goals, y'all have the same mindset. Birds of a feather flock together. Some scholars argue that the first monopolitical parties developed in early modern Britain in the 18th century after the Exclusion Crisis and the Glorious Revolution. The Whig faction originally organized itself around support for a Protestant constitutional monarchy as opposed to absolute rule, whereas the Conservative Tory faction, originally the Royalists or Cavalier faction of the English Civil War, supported a strong monarchy, and these two groups structured disputes in the politics of the United Kingdom throughout the 18th century, 1700s. Around the time of the American Constitution, the Rockingham Whigs have been identified as the first modern political party because they retained a coherent party label and motivating principles even while out of power. At the end of the century, the United States also developed a party system called the First Party System, which we'll go into detail in a later video. This last note, at the end of the century, the United States also developed a party system called the First Party System. Although the framers of the 1787 United States Constitution did not anticipate the American political disputes would be primarily organized around political parties, because they figured everybody was going to have their own natural God-given freedoms and liberties. Political controversies in the early 1790s over the extent of federal government power saw the emergence of the two proto-political parties, the Federalist Party and the Democratic/Republican Party. So nowadays, they put this whole Democratic-Republican two-party system when try to make you seem like you have a choice, but you don't have a choice, because if you go back to the roots, the Democratic and the Republican Party was always the same party. So now we fast forward to modern times, the Democrat and the Republican, you don't have a choice. They're the same party. By the 19th century, a number of countries had developed stable modern party systems. The party system that developed in Sweden had been called the world's first party system, on the basis that previous party systems were not fully stable and institutionalized. In many European countries, including Belgium, Switzerland, Germany, and France, those are the so-called countries that's supposed to control the world, that took our freedoms away, our natural God-given freedoms and liberties away. Political parties organize around and liberal conservative divide or around religious disputes. The spread of party model of politics was accelerated by the 1848 revolutions around Europe. So, like I said, we'll touch into the political party system in another video. But like I say, we get back to the definition of freedom. Freedom, a state of exemption from the power or control of another. Liberty, exemption from slavery, servitude, or confinement. Freedom is personal, civil, political, and religious. See liberty. Liberty. Freedom from restraint in a general sense and applicable to the body or the will of the mind. The body is at liberty when not confined. The will or mind is at liberty when not checked or controlled. A man enjoys liberty when no physical force operates to restrain his actions or volitions. Natural, which is God-given, which we had before they took it. And we continue giving up by agreeing to be a part of these political parties and the civil system. Natural liberty, consistent of power of acting as one, things fit without any restraint or control except from the laws of nature, which, because it is written in our DNA, the God-given codes for how to act. We don't need to be told how to act. Only uncivilized people need to be told how to act. It is a state of being exempt from the controls of other and from positive laws and the institution of social life. The liberty is abridged by the establishment of government. So with civil liberty, political liberty, and religious liberty, they take away your natural liberty and freedom.